Today I'm going to do a quick review of the ZTE Blade A452. This is a 5-inch display phone and it's a 720 by 1280 pixels, and that's 294 pixels per inch, and you're looking at a 16 million colors, and it's an IPS TFT panel. We have a 1 GHz quad-core processor with the MediaTek MT6735P. We have an ARM Mali T720 GPU. We have 8 gig internal memory, expandable with up to 32 gig micro SD or micro SDHC cards. 1 gig of RAM. The battery is a 4000 milliamp one, so pretty standard. We have a 2 megapixel camera at the top, and at the back we're looking at a 13 megapixel. As you can see, I have the gold color here. You can get it in white and black. There's that camera there. We have our earpiece, a little tiny LED, which is quite hard to see, and our standard light sensor and proximity sensor. We have some capacitive buttons here: back, home, and the multitask, or if you push it hold you get a menu. At the bottom we have our microphone and micro USB charge connector. At the top we just have our headphone jack. At this side, our power lock button and our volume up and down rocker. And at the back there's that 13 megapixel camera and our LED flash with the ZTE branding in the middle, and that speaker with the little raised grooves, so when laid flat it doesn't distort the sound. So we'll briefly go through the user interface. This is a stock Android experience, so there's nothing being added to make it slower or whatever. We have our standard notifications at the top. You can't modify these, this is what you get. But still, it's your older ones that you really need. It focuses in. We have two ways we can interact. We have our standard app drawer. Now, as mentioned, we do have an option, so we don't have the app drawer. There's these little two apps here. We have Launcher 3 and Mi Favor Desktop. Now, I'm using the Launcher 3, but if you select the Mi Favor one, as you can see, bottom icons change, and now everything is on our desktop, if you will. So it's very rendition of Apple software, only in the sense that everything's on there. Multitask button, you do get some little options here to change the scrolling effect when you move the phone across the icons or whatever. Wallpaper icon, you can change the layout of the icons, so they just basically change rounded off or classic or reflective, and then back to that. Me personally, I do prefer the Launcher 3 because it just seems more simplistic in my view. Everything else is, if you know Android, it's just the same. We're using Android Lollipop 5.1. I don't know if this will upgrade to Marshmallow. Here's hoping, but I don't know. Other than that, you know, it's just stock Android as mentioned. There's no blurware being installed or anything like that, so that's good. I mentioned about these bottom keys earlier. Just want to show you. Under the menu, you can actually have it where the back and the menu is basically switched round. So this is the back and this is the menu. But if you do it to that, this becomes the back and this becomes the menu. So that's quite a good option to have as well. Next thing I want to talk about is the camera. Now, as mentioned, it's a 13 megapixel camera, and I've used it a few times now, out and about, blah blah blah. We have 4 different modes. We have the standard camera image function. We have a live photo image, where essentially what it does is you can take a photograph. If I just get that focused in, we take the photo. Essentially what it does is it takes the picture, but it also records a little snippet of video. So essentially you can like relive the moment in still and in image as well, as you can see there. So I do quite like that little function. Let's go back, and then we have our panorama option. Now this one, when you take a photo of it, of a panorama, it basically will animate it moving across, stuff like that. That's quite good. And then this one, the multi-angle view, I do quite like this one as well. I know some other phones show that as well. Essentially you take the photo and you can do it like that from different angles, which I do love. The autofocus on this camera isn't the greatest. I've taken a couple of shots of trees and little flats with it. It's taken me ages to get it to autofocus, but when it does, it's not that bad. The images themselves, I'll put a few up on post edit. They're not. There's a lot of noise in the photos. They're not the best. I mean, for a 13 megapixel shooter, you know, I would have thought it would have been better than it was, shall we say. But, you know, it is what it is. For the price range, I suppose you can't really fault it. The 2 megapixel camera at the front, I'm not even going to mention that, because as we all know, you know, 2 megapixel, not that great in this day and age. All in all, I do like this phone. You know, it's like if you want one for a secondary phone, or if you're just moving into the smartphone bandwagon, then it's great. The lack of NFC might put some people off, might not, put me off slightly. But we do have adaptive brightness, Bluetooth, it's 4G, pretty much everything you'd think most smartphones have now. No, there's a lot of good points. I mean, even a little bit with the little risings there for the speaker, I do quite like that. But if you got it flat, you type, and it does sort of wobble and get that noise. It does come annoying every now and again, but not such a issue really. The battery, for a 4000 milliamp battery, it does perform very well. I'm quite happy with the battery. In fact, this seems to outperform my Asus tablet that I did a review on a few weeks ago, that Drain Synchronic, but there's no problem whatsoever, and that includes locations on Wi-Fi, a lot, whatever, so quite happy at that. 32 gig expandable memory with a card, obviously great. The front camera does work quite well with Skype, so no issues there. A couple of bad ones, I mean, it's essentially the design itself is quite good, but I did notice some issues with the paintwork or the molding or whatever. There was like some sort of distortions and stuff, and obviously at the side, I don't think the camera's going to pick this up, but it looks a bit like wearing slightly on the corners. Now I noticed this when I took it out of the box and set it all up, but nothing really major should I say. The touchscreen itself, it's great, no problems, but sometimes it does take a few seconds to register and you've got to like tap it again. I've noticed that quite a few times lately. I will mention that the other day there, I went to mute a call and the screen freaked out. It was all liney and everything. I reset it and it was fine, so knock on wood, that was just a one-off. I think maybe the phone just froze or crashed or whatever. I've mentioned the autofocus, not the best, but surely not the worst. It was mainly the images themselves that's really put a downer on the phone. But all in all, it's a great phone. I do like the design. The colour's good. I've never had a gold phone. It's quite a nice colour. When you take the back off, it is quite fiddly. There's different renditions of this. We have a dual SIM version of this. This is just a single SIM version with the SD adapter or slot, should I say. But yeah, apart from that, it's a great phone. I would recommend it, especially for the battery life alone. I mean, I'm quite a heavy user and I've had no issues with this whatsoever. So yeah, I definitely recommend this. Well, that'll do for now, guys. If you like this video or any comments or anything like that, hit the like button and put them in the comment box, and I'll try and answer any questions. Until the next one, cheers. Just a wee side note, as I was editing this video, I tried to add video footage from the ZTE phone. It wouldn't let me add it, so I've actually discovered that according to the computer, the video has been recorded in 3JP format. Now, I've messed around with the settings on the phone itself. You get a choice of fine, medium, high and fine. I've tried all the settings and it still seems to record in 3JP. I've tried to convert the video into MP4 and AVI format, and Vegas Pro still won't accept it. So I'm going to have to double check that, but that seems to be quite strange. Anyway, I thought I'd let you know.